it's Opie, and welcome back to the channel where I have no idea what I'm doing. Today's video is another lore video. It's another Theory Thursday. It is Thursday as I'm filming this, but it won't be Thursday when I upload. I'm uploading this tomorrow, on Friday. So, it's Theory Thursday for me, Theory Friday for you guys. Not the same, but it's close enough. Today we're doing a video that was actually suggested by my lovely older sister, who's been playing Legends of Zelda since she was like a baby. This video took a lot more research than the previous two, and I found so many more theories, but there's only 4 that I can really fit into this video, just because I wanted to kind of keep this around the 10-minute mark, and I didn't want to bore you guys with too many things. So if you guys really like this, then maybe I'll do a part 2 of just Legends of Zelda lore. This game has been going on since the late 80s, so I'm not really surprised that there's a lot of lore to this, especially because there's, I think, around 20 games. Let's jump right in. And oh, by the way, if you have not played these games, spoiler warning! So as with most lore videos, we're going to start with some facts, and then we're going to head on into some theories. We know that there's 19 games in this franchise, starting off with The Legends of Zelda from 1986, and then ending with Breath of the Wild in 2017. There are a lot of games that are considered spin-offs, and there are a couple remakes, so those do add to the total amount of games in the series, but we're not counting them for today's purposes. The main character's name is Link, who has more of a masculine appearance, but was actually created quite androgynously so that everyone who played felt that they could resonate with Link. Zelda is the princess of Hyrule and is either Link's best friend or his romantic interest, and no one can really figure out which. This is kind of up to the player to decide. Link is also often referred to as a hero, as given the Hero of Time in Ocarina of Time and the Hero of Wind in The Wind Waker. So what theories do people have on this long-running popular game? Some are only about certain games, and some are about the franchise as a whole. Most of these don't really explain like a person's existence or why something has happened, more over just general theories and lore. So, theory number 1. Starting off with the longest theory, but also the most depressing theory. This theory is about Majora's Mask, which there are a bunch of theories about this game, not only because this game is oddly creepy, but also because the animation style of it just gives it that extra layer of what in the world is going on here. As I looked into this theory, I kind of realized how dark it got. I chose the lighter of the 2 theories out of this, but we're just a warning, this kind of does get a little depressing, I suppose. So this theory begins by explaining that Majora's Mask is explaining the 5 stages of grief. And this includes anger, denial, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Each level of this game represents a different stage. The Clock Tower represents denial, Woodfall represents anger, Snowhead represents bargaining, Great Bay represents depression, and Ikana Valley represents acceptance. These themes are really hammered home by the things that happen in each level and the kind of quests that Link goes on in each of these places. Those in the city of Termina are kind of denying the fact that the moon is going to fall on them and are just going about life as normal. So this clearly represents denial. In Woodfall, the king of Woodfall is shown taking his anger out on a poor helpless monkey because his daughter, the princess, has disappeared. The leader of the natives at Snowhead bargains with Link to give him his life back. Great Bay is explained by the wiki, verbatim, as when Link met Mikau on the coast of the Great Bay, he, Link, learns that his girlfriend lost her eggs. Link later uses the Zora mask to essentially take the deceased man's life, and left his girlfriend in isolation as a result. And Ikana Valley is basically inhabited by the dead, so there's no running around and finding tasks to do or Link's masks, and instead he uses this time to reflect. In general, this game is regarded with a lot of apprehension in the Zelda community, and honestly, for a good reason. The game is so much deeper than a lot of people really even think about when they play it. Mainly because there's no real evil to defeat in this game. Most every Zelda game has a villain to it, except for this one. And no, not even Skullkid. Skullkid is not the villain in this game. Actually, he's being possessed. Even Majora is not evil. The horror and this existential dread that this game gives is honestly impressive, and it's one of the coolest things that I've seen a game be able to do with so little explaining to the player. This has led a lot of internet creepypastas to be written about it. My personal favorite is Ben Drowned, which a lot of people know about. But the story of dear old Ben is long and convoluted, so I won't get into it right now, but if y'all are ever interested in a kind of spin-off lore vid, we can talk about creepypastas too. Overall, this theory is really dark, but it's widely accepted within the Zelda community, and it's changed a lot about the way that people think of Majora's Mask, so I wanted to share it nonetheless. Theory number 2 is a lot lighter than theory number 1, and it's another widely talked about theory that I think was really interesting to read about. Anyone who's ever played the Zelda games has recognized the symbol of the Triforce, or the 3 triangles that are formed together to find another triangle. People theorize that the missing triangle in the middle of the Triforce is actually a missing 4th piece. The lore of the Triforce itself is a little odd in that the pieces of the Triforce were bestowed upon the Triforce holders by goddesses. Each of the pieces of the Triforce represents power, wisdom, and courage, given to Ganondorf, Zelda, and Link respectively. On Link's Hylian shield, we see an eagle or some type of bird protecting a 4th triangle piece from the Triforce. A lot of people think maybe this bird is stopping the 4th piece, or maybe it is some type of barrier that Link needs to go through, but we notice in a later game that it's actually removed from his shield. Another piece of this theory is that the number 4 is really important in this series, like the 4 swords, or the 4 light spirits in Ocarina of Time. Unfortunately, this theory has been disproven by the creator of Zelda himself, but it still had considerable impact on the Zelda community. Theory 3 is super short, but it made me giggle, so I wanted to include it anyways. This one kind of ropes in another popular Nintendo character, Mario. The character Talon is a reoccurring character within the Zelda universe, as he appears in Ocarina of Time, the Oracle of Seasons, 4 Swords Adventures, and the Minish Cap. He has a striking similarity to one of Nintendo's own creations, Mr. Mario. Some fans have taken the similarity and kind of turned it into a little more than that, and have actually stated that Talon is Mario. This theory states that after defeating Bowser for the last time, Mario got tired of his life as a plumber and decided to move to become a rancher, then somehow got wrapped up in all of Link's adventures. It's kind of humorous to think of this, honestly, but it would be a really fun Easter egg if Nintendo did in fact confirm that. Theory 4 is another really short one, but I wanted to include it anyways because I thought it was cool. This one kind of loops back to the Majora's Mask theory, but instead talks about the makers of Majora's Mask and not the game as a whole. In Twilight Princess, we see Midna, who wears a mask, explain that it's called the Fused Shadow, and it was created by the Twilight, or the Tweely. I'm not really exactly sure how to pronounce that, but they are clearly capable of making very evil masks. Majora's Mask was made by an evil ancient tribe that vanished from the earth. We know that the Twilight, or Tweely, were also banished from the earth at some point because of the way that they used their power. So it's not too much of a stretch to say that they're the same race, they're the same tribe. I know this was kind of short and there weren't too many long theories in this one, but I really want to A, get out content for you guys, and B, I'm hoping to do a second video on this too, because I think it will just be a lot of fun. And maybe I can get into some even longer theories in there, because there is so much left to uncover in this wonderful series. It's crazy, dude. There's so much here to unpack. So in general, I had a lot of fun researching this, and I'm definitely going to keep looking into these things because these are so cool. I love how over the years so many people have come up with so many different ideas of each game. If you guys have any ideas for this series or any topics you'd like me to cover in a theory video or in a lore video or anything like that, leave them down in the comments below. In general, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next week. Bye bye! Signing off.